Hey everybody, it's Brooke with the Buttered Home and welcome to my messy kitchen. Tonight we have a real treat for you. As you know, this year we are highlighting some of the best Southern recipes. And what we like to do in January is kind of get you back to learning how to do the basics of cooking that's not really necessarily native to the South, but just any good cook. These are good tools to have in your kitchen. And what we're doing tonight is we're going to show you how to make a Southern sausage gravy. And this uses a fundamental of any cooking, French cooking, Southern cooking, even Spanish and Mexican cooking, Cajun cooking. I mean, it knows no limits. So we're going to show you really quickly how we pull this gravy together by making a white roux. And it's really simple. It's just a few ingredients. We have about a ½ pound of ground sausage, mild sausage, pork sausage that we have already browned for this, because the majority of what you're cooking is going to be the gravy itself. This gravy or white roux is the basis for a lot of different things. You can make Alfredo sauce, a bechamel, you can make sauce for macaroni and cheese. I use it in soups as a base, and it works beautifully. And once you master the art of doing that, there's no limit to what you can do. This is a starting point, and if you wanted to master a white roux, I suggest you cook up some bulk ground sausage and do what we're doing. So I have my pan that I browned the sausage in. It looks kind of nasty, but I left about a tablespoon of the drippings as well as the crumbs in the pan, and we're going to put that over medium to high heat. And we're going to go overhead now and show you how to do it. So we're going to add about 3 tablespoons of butter, and we're going to let that melt. And I do all of this with a whisk. And we're going to melt that butter in the pan. And while the butter is melting, I'm just going to go ahead and start scraping off some of those bits from the sausage, because that flavor really helps accentuate our white roux. Now, if you're doing this, you can do this with a few tablespoons of just butter. You don't have to have the pan drippings, but we usually like to do about 3 tablespoons of butter to about 3 tablespoons of flour and about 2 cups of milk or stock. All right, so our butter is melted. So to this we are going to add about a ½ teaspoon of salt and about a ¼ teaspoon of pepper. And you can find this recipe at thebutteredhome.com. And we're going to mix those into the butter. And then we have about 3 tablespoons of plain flour. So we're going to add that in and kind of scrape that pan and make a paste. And you'll see it'll come up pretty quickly and start to boil. And you want to use a whisk for this because you want to keep it moving. And you just want to cook that for just about a minute. Now this is a light or a white roux, so naturally you would do the same thing for a dark blonde or a dark roux. You would just cook this flour a little bit longer, probably at a much lower heat. All right, so we have cooked that, and I can smell the sausage and no longer smell the flour. So at this point, I'm going to drizzle in 2 cups of milk. And it does not have to be whole milk. It can be 2%. I just would not use skim. And we just drizzle that in slowly so that it doesn't create a huge steam bath. And all the while we're scraping the bottom of that pan so that we can deglaze and get those bits of sausage off the bottom of the pan. Now we will cook this at medium to high heat, anywhere from 3 to 5 minutes. And because it's such a short cook time, I stay with it whisking the whole time, because this will actually help it to thicken faster. And you will also be able to feel it with your whisk as that starts to happen. We are almost there. I'm just going to stay with it just a few minutes more. Okay, we are starting to thicken. You'll be able to tell because of the bubbles around the edge. And you don't want to bring this to a full boil. You just want to get it to simmer just enough until it thickens. So once you feel that starting to happen, you can turn your heat down, or you can completely turn the heat off, because as it sits, it will also continue to thicken. But because we need to reheat our sausage, when this happens, we are going to test it to make sure that our gravy is not going to run, and then we are going to just cut it down to a very low setting so that we can put our sausage back in the gravy and allow it to just heat through for about 2 to 3 minutes. All right, so we have a good thick gravy now. I'm going to show you a very easy way to test and see if it's as thick as you want it. And I just tap a wooden spoon in it and take my finger and carefully run it along the back. And then if it doesn't run either way, then that is good, and it's good and thick and perfect for the way we like it. So at this point, I'm going to add back in my sausage, and we're just going to, I've already lowered my heat, so we're just going to let that simmer for just a minute until that sausage is good and heated through. All right, now I'm just going to clear some things out of the way, and we are going to plate this and show you how gorgeous it really is. So I have made some biscuits ahead of time because this is the perfect thing to have on a cold day with just some biscuits. And then we're going to cut into those biscuits, and you don't have to do it this way, but this is the way that I like to eat it. And we're going to open that biscuit up. And if it's still warm, I'm going to put a little butter in there and butter it all nice. And then I'm going to take that sausage gravy and I'm just going to ladle it over the top and make a mess while I'm doing it. So this is a perfect rib sticking meal right here. You have the gorgeous sausage that's already been cooked, that's so full of flavor and spices already. And then you have taken just a few simple ingredients and combined them together to make this beautiful, rich gravy. This gravy is a basis for so many things. You can add cheese to it and make a cheese sauce. You can add stock instead of milk and make gumbo and all other kind of things like soup bases and all of that. But for now, just to get your feet wet, this is a great way and a tasty way to hone your skills on making a white roux. So we hope you've enjoyed this recipe. We hope that you'll try your hand at making this sausage gravy because it really is so easy. Be sure, if you're not following us or not subscribed to us here on YouTube, that you hit the subscribe button and ding the bell so that you can be notified when we drop more videos. Also, we cook live every Monday night at 7:30 Central Time over on Facebook and Instagram, and we would love to have you to join us there as well. And be sure and check out our website at thebutteredhome.com for recipes like this that'll get you in the kitchen and learn how to cook with the best Southern cooks that there are. So as usual, we love y'all, guys. We love y'all. Bye.